Welcome, founders. Let's just be real for a second. You hired your first employees, things are going great, and then they start asking about benefits. Suddenly, you're staring down this stressful HR nightmare. Well, take a deep breath. In this explainer, we're going to turn that whole stressful ordeal into a completely relaxed, easy-to-follow roadmap. If you have no idea where to start and you're terrified of burning through your precious startup capital, you are in the exact right place. We're going to break the whole shebang down into a simple, highly manageable process. Here is our exact map for today. First, we'll cover the basics and eligibility. Second, the three main coverage models. Third, strategies to protect your cash flow. Fourth, the small business tax credit. And finally, your step-by-step roadmap to get it all done. Okay, let's dive right into Section 1, the basics and eligibility. We're laying down the ground rules here. First up, I want you to relax. Seriously, let the pressure off. Because under federal law, businesses with under 50 full-time equivalent employees are actually not mandated to offer health insurance at all, meaning you are only doing this to boost your hiring and retention. This is about making your company fiercely competitive, not about fending off government penalties. If your headcount is under 50, you are entirely in the driver's seat. Now, you might be wondering, wait, what's my exact headcount? Figuring out your true full-time equivalent, or FTE count, is actually pretty straightforward. You just count your actual full-time team members. Those are the folks working 130 hours or more a month. Then you take all your part-time hours, throw them all into a giant bucket, and divide that total by 120. Add those two numbers together, and boom, you have your official FTE total. So if you do decide to offer a plan, you really just need to meet three basic rules. First, you must have eligible W-2 employees, meaning, sorry solo founders, you can't just set this up for yourself. Second, you have to hit a minimum participation rate, usually between 50 and 75%. And third, the employer, that's you, must contribute at least 50% toward the employee's single coverage premium. Oh, and a quick tip on that participation math. If an employee waives coverage because they're already on their spouse's plan, that's completely valid waiver. It doesn't hurt your participation rate at all. Now that we know the baseline rules, let's move right along to Section 2, the three main coverage models. Let's explore your actual options. Our first option is probably what pops into your head when you hear corporate health insurance. It's the traditional, fully funded group plan. Now, this model is highly predictable. You pay a fixed premium every month to a carrier like Blue Cross or United Healthcare, and they take on 100% of the financial risk. But, and this is a big but, it can be incredibly rigid and expensive. Why? Because the carrier keeps the profit even if your young, energetic team stays perfectly healthy all year. If your team never visits the doctor, that premium money's literally just gone. That brings us to option 2, which is actually a massive trend for small businesses right now, the level funded plan. Think of this as a hybrid model. It's especially fantastic for younger or healthier teams. You're still paying a predictable fixed amount every month, but under the hood, the mechanics are totally different. And the best part is, it gives you the potential to actually recoup some of those costs. Basically, your monthly payment gets divided into different buckets: admin fees, stop-loss insurance, and a claims fund. That stop-loss bucket, that's there to protect you from catastrophic, budget-busting medical bills. But the really exciting part is the claims fund. If your team doesn't spend all the money in that claims bucket, you actually get a premium credit or a refund at the end of the year. It is an absolutely phenomenal way to capture savings without taking on the terrifying risk of fully self-insuring your entire business. But what if a traditional or level-funded plan is just too expensive? Or maybe your team is scattered remotely across a bunch of different states. Enter our third option, the ICHRA. That stands for Individual Coverage Health Reimbursement Arrangement. Instead of trying to pick one rigid, one-size-fits-all plan for the whole company, you just set a budget. You give your employees a fixed tax-free monthly allowance, and they go choose their own marketplace plans. It's honestly a game changer. Instead of the old way, handing out a generic packet of confusing plans to everyone and crossing your fingers, an ICHRA allows a broker to help each employee individually. They get on a call, they use that tax-free allowance you gave them, and they choose the exact plan that fits their specific doctors, their zip code, and their lifestyle. It completely offloads that massive HR burden right off your shoulders. So when you stack these three models up against each other, looking at monthly cost, budget flexibility, and admin burden, it becomes incredibly clear why ICHRAs and level-funded plans are completely taking over the startup space. The ICHRA gives you the absolute highest flexibility on your budget. The level-funded gives you a great chance at cash refunds. And traditional fully funded plans? Well, they just give you high costs and low flexibility. It's a no-brainer why you need to look beyond the traditional route. Moving right into Section 3, strategies to protect your cash flow. This is how we beat those rising costs. This is absolutely crucial, folks. With insurers proposing median rate hikes of 11 to 14% for 2026, mostly thanks to incredibly expensive specialty drugs like GLP-1 medications, you have got to avoid the standard percentage contribution model. Instead, you need to embrace the fixed dollar strategy. Think about it. If you promise to pay 75% of a premium, and that premium skyrockets by 14% next year, your budget is completely wrecked. You have zero control over that expense. But by locking in a fixed stipend, say committing to a flat $300 a month per employee, your employer cost remains totally predictable and steady, even when premiums inevitably rise. This creates what we call a literal budget firewall. If costs go up next year, your business is still only paying that exact $300. The employee either absorbs the difference or they shop for a cheaper plan. You stay compliant, you offer a great benefit, but your cash flow, perfectly protected. All right, on to Section 4, the Small Business Tax Credit. This is the holy grail. This is a highly exciting, often missed secret that can make all of this significantly more affordable for early-stage companies. If you have under 25 full-time employees, you meet certain wage caps, and you pay at least half the premium, the federal government will literally pay you back. I'm talking up to 50% of your total premium costs credited right back to you. And keep in mind, a tax credit is vastly superior to a tax deduction. This is actual cash directly reducing the taxes your business owes, dollar for dollar. But fair warning, the IRS math for this is incredibly complex, which brings us perfectly to our final segment on how to actually get this done. Section 5. Your step-by-step roadmap. Let's build your action plan. We've covered the rules and the savings, so let's cross the finish line. Here are your 3 literal steps to success. Step 1. Leverage a broker for free, unbiased guidance. Step 2. Anonymously survey your team to find out their must-have doctors and prescriptions. And Step 3. Set a definitive hard dollar cap on what your business can sustainably spend. You do not need to guess what your team wants, and you absolutely should not be playing HR manager trying to navigate those confusing carrier websites all by yourself. And for that crucial first step, you can hand off all of this administrative heavy lifting to an independent broker like Eric Burns. The best part is, a broker's commission is already built into the carrier premiums, meaning getting his expert, personalized help costs you absolutely nothing out of pocket. Zero. He'll shop the entire market for you, run that complicated tax credit math we just talked about, and personally help every single one of your employees pick their perfect plan. So, the roadmap is right in front of you. Survey your team, talk to a professional, and build a competitive advantage for your startup that actually respects your bottom line. The only question left for you is, are you ready to download a free employee census template, set up your budget firewall, and finally stop bleeding cash?